Well, hello everyone. Very happy to be here. Very happy to see you all. As you probably can tell, I'm a bit nervous. It's a big group of you. It's a big room. Uh, Thank you. And this is going to be a bit of an experiment. First of all, because we're doing this in English, which is not my mother language, as you can tell. So I hope you're not too harsh on me if I don't find the right words right away. And the other thing is, I've never done a fishbowl before. And we want to do it because we think that there are so many people here in this room that can contribute so much. And we would like to give you the chance to actually listen to each other, to get on stage, to share your thoughts, to share your ideas. And why am I here? As Eva said, my name is Christa Kloibhofer-Krampl. I'm from the Next Incubator. The Next Incubator is an innovation hub for sustainability. So I work in the field of sustainability for, I think, 8 years now. So that's why the topic today is the climate won't wait. Why do we? And I'm very happy about what I heard until now. Especially Ellie's talk was very, very nice for me because she talked about mental health. And for everyone working in the field of sustainability, in the field of climate, in the field of climate crisis, but also, of course, many other challenges we're facing, has at some point strong feelings. And that's why we called the podcast that we're recording, we're on season 4, and it's called Zorn und Zuversicht, which means anger and confidence. Sometimes it means even fury, sometimes it's hope, and that is what I would like to talk about today. And I'm pretty sure that many of you know what happened last week, what the outcome is of the COP in Brazil, and the voices that we hear now. Are we satisfied? Are we not satisfied? And I'm not going to talk about the details, about the commitment. I'm talking about the feelings now. How do we feel now? How do we feel now with the outcome of this COP? And one Austrian official said, we're not moving backwards, we're not moving forwards, we're making a step sidewards. And I'm not sure, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm just entering a bus, but not taking control of the road? Does that mean that I'm just sitting there and waiting until maybe someone's gonna hit the brakes or maybe not? And this is these feelings that we're dealing with now. This is the topic of today's talk, and I'm very happy to invite Barbara Holzinger now and Ilona M. Please join me on stage, because many people, many things to say. Please sit down. So, before we start talking about you guys and what you do, just a few words about the format today. First of all, we're going to talk a bit about our feelings, about what we do, how we contribute, and the situation, the challenges that we're facing. And then at a certain point, we're going to open the stage. I will let you know when it's time for you to get on stage. And I just kindly ask to raise your hand so we know who would like to get up, so we can invite you personally, and whatever you would like to contribute afterwards, it's totally up to you. If it's a feeling that you would like to share, it's an experience that you would like to share, it's a question that you have to one of us or maybe some others in the room, well, really looking forward to this. Hello, Barbara. Would
Hi.
you like to start and just
Sure.
let us know who you are, what you do, and why you're here today?
Okay, so thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here today. So my name is Barbara Holzinger, and I am studying biology and English in the teachers program. So I'm actually becoming a teacher. And I think that education plays a major role also in combating climate change and protecting the environment. So I think that's a very important part that is sometimes overlooked. Yes, and I also work at the Klimabündnis Steiermark, where we also do workshops in that area.
Thank you. Workshop in that area means you said you work with kids and teenagers mostly, right?
Mostly with teenagers and children, yes, that's right. We also have some workshops with adults as well, but mainly with teenagers, yes.
Thank you. And on my right side, there's Ilona. And yes, would you please introduce yourself a bit?
Yes, sure. Hello. Hi, I'm Ilona Otto, and I'm also a teacher, but I'm a university teacher, a university professor. So I work here in Graz at the University of Graz in the Wegner Center for Climate and Global Change. So I'm a scientist, and I work on climate change, what it means for human societies, for human health, and also what we can do to adapt to climate change, but also what we can do to mitigate climate change, so to lower the CO2 emissions, and also how to transform our societies on this net zero climate neutral pathway. I'm also teaching students research methods, but also like subjects like social ecological system analysis, human behavior, human nature interactions, and all this type of topics. Yes, so it's also very exciting to be here and also to see so many young faces. And I really like my job because, I'm not so young anymore, but when you work with young people, you think that you're also young, so it keeps me sort of young. And when I see you, I think I'm kind of one of you, but I realize I'm a bit older. But it's a great job to discuss, to interact with students and with young people, and also innovative people such as you. Thanks.
Thank you, Ilona. Before we dig a little deeper, I would like to ask you, just raise your hand and tell me who in this room feels more angry when you think about climate and how we deal with the challenges that we're facing. Okay, and who's feeling confident, hopeful? Okay, so I see there's people that raised their hands both times, which is actually, I think, that we're facing all, that we're within this mixed feelings, and sometimes it's this and sometimes it's that. And I also see that there's a lot of people who didn't raise their hand, which I would say they have no idea how they feel about it. And if you look at a recent study in Austria that has been asked people, young people, teenagers and kids, how they feel and how they feel about their future, there's more than 40% saying they are not confident, that they are fearful, that they do not know what the future will bring them. And I think that's a huge issue we're facing here. That's a generation that we put so much pressure on. On one hand, we say, your future is black, it's doomed. There's so many crises coming. And on the other hand, we're telling them, it's your turn. You gotta solve this for us. Please act. Please take your voice and please do something. And I'm not really surprised that this message is very difficult to handle. And Barbara, I would like to ask you, since you work with kids, what did you experience? How are they feeling?
I certainly feel the pressure amongst the children and teens, and it leads to a bit of devastation. And what I always do, I also feel that pressure. And what I always do is I try to focus on the small things and maybe try to distance myself from the big issues that I feel I cannot solve. So I try to make baby steps and focus on the little things. And I always try to tell this to my teenagers and children that I teach at school. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a challenging group of people, a very vulnerable group of people. And you both here decided at one point you would like to be part of the solution, right? That's why you do what you do. And Ilona, maybe you can tell me, when did you realize you would like to be part of the solution? What's your why?
So first, I have to say, I was like, when I was towards the end of my PhD, I did my PhD on farmer cooperative organizations, which maybe seems a bit distant, but it's about why people work together. Yeah, how why some people can solve their problems on their own and some not. But it was still like kind of more distant from climate. But then I thought, like I finished my PhD, or I was about to finish my PhD, and I thought, okay, but like my next research should be about something kind of socially relevant and important. And then I got to climate change. But first, like for many years, I did my research on climate adaptation. And maybe kind of the direct sort of inspiration was actually the movie by Al Gore. What was The Inconvenient Truth? I saw it was like years ago, and then I thought, oh wow, that's an important problem. At that time, there were no really social scientists dealing with climate problems. So it was something like what physicists would do, climatologists, I know hydrologists, but there were hardly no social scientists dealing with this problem. But for still like for I don't know 7-8 years, I still looked at adaptation, and I was sort of like more distant. I thought, okay, so I look how we can adapt to those changes, but like I didn't feel like I'm a part of the of the kind of mitigation solution. But then at some stage, I think it was 2012 or so, I was a part of a team, research team. And we wrote a report for the World Bank, and the report was supposed to be about adapting to a 4 degrees warmer world, and it was the time when I understand, there's no really adaptation to a 4 degrees warmer world. Like we assessed like different sectors, different scenarios, like impacts on, food production, on energy production, on health, on also livestock health, and things like this. And it was like sort of sector by sector, like there were still like not maybe many issues like we were not able to assess. There was not enough knowledge, or not enough data, or not good models. But everything what we were able to assess was actually really scary. So it was sort of like almost like like all land or most of land exposed to desertification or droughts in some regions. Like many people suffering due to diseases, also like crop diseases, livestock diseases, like declining agricultural production. And it was like this moment of time that I understood, okay, there's like, if we talk about those higher degrees of global warming, like we cannot adapt. It's the end of the world as we know it in terms of nature-human interactions. At the end, the title of the report was not adaptation to 4 degrees warmer world, was the title of the report was turn down the heat. So it was like the primary message, we have to turn down the heat, because like we can adapt to like maybe like a world around 2 degrees warmer, but not to a world that is warmer than this. And this brought me to the research on how to be a part of the solution, how to lower CO2 emissions, how to use more renewables and replace fossil fuel use. And this is where I currently where I am. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
This is a very scientific point, a scientific way that you've chosen, because you come from facts, you come from figures. I can tell you how it was for me. I simply became a mom. And with becoming a mom, you feel much more responsible for what you're doing, much more responsible for what you're leaving behind. And that really changed my perspective a lot. And I really started to think about the world that my son's going to live in. Is this a world that I would choose for him? Is this something that I feel comfortable having him growing up and being part of it, and what do I want for him. So I come from a more, I would say, emotional side, and I know when you're having kids, once you have kids, it changes a lot. So it's maybe a bit of a cliche, but I know, Babsi, you don't have children because you're the youngest on stage. And how was it for you?
For me, it actually started at school. We went to a talk. So I went to an agricultural school. We learned a lot about environmental issues and how agriculture is in this whole spectrum. So we went to this talk, and there was like a quote, and I love that quote. It's from Babadium. I'm not sure if I can quote it like word to word, but it goes something like this. You can only protect what you love. You can only love what you know, and you can only know what you were taught. And then it clicked, like, how can we protect nature and our environment when we don't know how important and fragile our ecosystems are? And that's when I said, yes, I want to study biology, and I want to help protect our nature.
So you see, it's 3 different ways, 3 different individual decisions, but we're all working towards the same goal: to protect our planet, to protect our climate, to protect humanity, humankind. And this is a point that I would really like to focus a bit more. It's what keeps us going. Is it that the news are so great, that we see that there's so many things done that are totally important, or what is it? And I experienced when every person that starts getting deeper in this topic, climate change, climate crisis, once you do that, you always reach the valley of tears. I don't know if you're familiar with this term, but this is a time where you feel devastated, where you feel that it's totally hopeless. This is a point where you have a feeling of there's nothing that can be done. People are not acting, they're not doing the right things. So, but is this a feeling that really helps us? And I decided no, it's not a good feeling. It's not gonna help the environment, it's not gonna help us, it's not gonna help me. It's not gonna help my health. My health, and this is really important to me. So, and for me, I just experienced that it's super important to find community. To find people that are like-minded, to find people that are aiming to reach the same goals as you do. And you have here 3 individuals doing different things, but we have the same goal. So it's a feeling of belonging. It's a feeling of we are within this together. We're different, we have different views. I'm sure we don't agree on the same things in detail, but on the long run, we want the same things. And when you work with kids, and I'm sure you have kids in your room and they come with different challenges. Some have maybe a hard situation at home. Others do have troubles with their friends. And others, because I did a podcast with 10-year-old kids last year, and they are very aware of the climate crisis, so they do live in fear. What are you telling them?
First of all, I think this is one of my biggest challenges that I have. Some kids are very unmotivated. They have this sort of climate fatigue, so they are like, oh, not again. Why are we hearing about the climate again? And yeah, I think even when there is like one child in the whole class that takes something with it and like that maybe I can motivate to do something, to change something, then I'm happy. That's like beforehand I was like super motivated to like, oh no, every kid, every teenager has to be like the super like climate hero. But now I'm focusing like on those children that are like really interested in it. And I think that even when you have like only 2 children in the class that are super interested, the others catch on. They get more interested then. So by focusing on those who are really interested, the others get also more motivated.
And now we reach a point where I would like to change my plan a little bit, because I think this is a really important question that I would like to ask Christian and Michael, who are in the audience. And because you two come from different institutions, from different organizations, and the feeling of community and belonging, I think this is something that you both can tell us some really interesting things. So please join us on stage. Sorry. Thank you, and thank you for your flexibility. Mikey, I would like to start with you. You are a student and you are part of Oikos. Oikos is a non-governmental students organization, right? And it's an international organization. And before you explain in detail what Oikos is, just what do you think about the part of belonging and the part of community? Because obviously you're not getting paid for being part of your community.
Sadly, yeah. But yeah, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Michael from Oikos. So I really like that you brought up the point of belonging, because I think it's really like one of the most critical points. If you know maybe the British activist George Monbiot, he talks a lot also about this feeling of belonging, and that's also the that's really cool. He's like kind of my idol, and like belonging is the feeling that can really pull you into like the good side or the bad side. So belonging also gives rise to fascism sometimes, but belonging is just one of the most important feelings for us humans. And I also experienced it when I was alone. I felt like most like grief possible, I think, for the world in general, and especially all the animals because of climate change. But then when I like found the group and saw people that are also like me and cared for the world, and it just makes the world so much lighter and easier to deal with. And yeah, I also joined like Fridays for Future at first, and then came to Oikos, and now leading Oikos, and we're currently doing 3 projects that are really cool. Should I go on to the projects, or?
I would ask Christian first, because I know Christian is very involved in many organizations in Graz, and you are very active. And my question for you is, what could institutions do to support the community, to support belonging? Because I have a feeling sometimes it's not so easy get access to certain communities, not because they want to, but sometimes it feels it's very exclusive. So what do you think from an institutional point of view?
I think there are 2 approaches. So the one is that you look for communities that already exist and you try to become part of it. The other approach, or the other possibility, is to found new communities. And if you're convinced about what you do, if you really hope for to have a better world in future, then you always find other people who think in the same way, who are not maybe part of a community, but together you can create new communities. And as you said before, with the children who are very interested in this topic, so this can also be communities that just appear. And I think we need much more communities, not only the existing communities, not only become part of them, but create new communities who are convinced of a better tomorrow.
Could you maybe just introduce yourself now a little bit so people understand why I asked you that question?
Okay. I'm Christian. I am here in Graz, and I am activist, scientist, entrepreneur, politician, part of everything. And I was thinking back, because the question was when everybody was infected with the issue of climate change. And for me, it was about when I was about 15. I think many of you are a little bit older or in this age also. And since then, I was convinced, okay, I want to do something against climate change. And in the last 25 years, I had different chances. I got to know different people, met different communities maybe. And so I always thought, what can I do in this context? And for instance, at the University of Graz, where I did my PhD, there was the chance to bring the whole university on the way to carbon neutrality. It was from 2010 to 2013, so the University of Graz was quite early with that. And now I'm part of the city of Graz, and there I had the chance that we have a plan, that we created a plan as the city to become carbon neutral by 2040 as the city of Graz. And so I always think that there are chances in your life, and if you take them, then you can, then you can do something for a better world and against climate change in this case.
What I really like about it is that you can see that once you start moving, you make the first step. Usually the next step will go a little bit more easier. It will be a bit more neutral, it won't feel so hard on you. So I think the most important thing is just to start walking. Make your first step. And we're talking about climate crisis. We're talking about what we're facing with global warming. But what we didn't talk about yet is that this is not the only crisis that we're living in. We're living in a world with multiple crises. Some say polycrisis. We have a lot of inequality. We have not only one war, we have many areas in this world with very, very huge conflicts. We have here in Europe a stumbling economy. So I have a feeling like the economy that we as a society decided at one point that we would like to go, we've chosen this kind of economy is failing us. So this is very complex. This is not so easy to focus on one thing. And also, of course, all these things, they're not standalone. They overlap, they react with each other. But still, I think it's overwhelming for us as humans to try to solve it all. This is not going to work, I think. So what helps you? This is a question I would like to ask all of you. What helps you to focus on one thing and not get distracted by the news? Like when you open the news in the morning, it feels like someone's pulling a pile of horrible news over you, and sometimes I have a feeling I cannot breathe. So what helps you, Michael, to stay focused?
I have a very definitive answer to that question. So for me, it's like a very strong vision of the future called solar punk. I'm not sure if anyone of you knows about it. It's like a genre that was brought in counter to cyberpunk. So cyberpunk is a very dystopian future, also like in films and comics and stuff like this. And the movement of solar punk was invented, and it's like a utopian future that you imagine. And it's like a future where you really focus on renewable energy. Energy works with nature, not against nature. And also just the visuals of it just really motivates you to build a world that is like that. And solar punk brings all the concepts of democracy. So like companies will be fully democratized in this world, and people have just a lot more agencies over their life in general. It also leans a bit into like anarchism, but like a more like good anarchism, I would say. Mm-hmm. And I really like the concept of this whole thing, and it really motivates me to think about it.
Yeah. Thank you. Babsi, what about you?
Firstly, I would say also community helps a lot. And secondly, maybe is not the most healthiest thing to do, but I think I developed sort of like a tunnel vision towards my goals. Maybe like when you run a marathon and you see the goal, and then you create this tunnel vision to blur out everything that hurts so that you can focus and push through hard times. Maybe not the healthiest thing to do.
Well, we talk about mental health after our talk and about being healthy or not. Ilona.
Yes, so maybe what motivates me the most. I try to support young people, students, and kind of my logic is that no, so what I can do, I can help to train people that they have the skills that will be needed in this new emerging system, and also to support their careers. Sort of, the logic is that they don't need to. I mean, they of course they can be activists, but at the same time that they will find a job in this area. So it's not something what you do, I don't know, a few months and then you have to get back to the serious life. But it's something that it becomes your life, yeah, like. And kind of that you work in this area, that you find a job. Of course, it's progressing slowly, but so we have like a new master program at the University of Graz, Climate Change and Transformation Science. So that's exactly this logic that we train like the experts that will be needed, and we have like first graduates, and they do find jobs. So it's quite interesting that it's sort of that's what keeps me. Motivated and so on, but at the same time, so I have maybe some bigger things I'm working on, but I also try to sort of support. So if there's like maybe like little thing, but okay, if I can somehow support it, it's it's good, it's positive, it's helpful. I try to do it. Yes, so sort of like I'm active in many areas. So sometimes it's like a conversation, sometimes maybe like an interview, or I know some podcast, or giving maybe a talk at some meetings or some conferences. So I try to kind of, or sometimes I also go to schools and organize some events with school children.
So it's a variety of things.
Yeah.
That you get your energy out.
Exactly, but maybe have a few main. But it also means like okay, but with a lower effort, I can also support. Other things going around, and I also try to kind of support good people, and help them to find their career pathways.
Yeah. I think it's very helpful to know, also for people maybe in this room, and also people listening, that it's possible to find jobs in this area, that there is a need of people who know how to deal with this, to create solutions. So maybe sometimes you have to focus on this and not too much on the horror scenario. But of course, Christian, how do you deal with that? How do you keep focused?
For me, the key message is that future is open. Mm-hmm. So it depends how all of us act, then we will create a future. And maybe we have problems with all the films that show future, that it's all often a very dystopic picture with, very dark, and what you said before. But on the other hand side, we have these great sustainable development goals that are here also next to us. And if we think about a world where all these sustainable development goals are reached, I think that brings us a good vision how our world, how our society should be tomorrow, or maybe in some years. And I think this is very important to realize that it brings you and yourself hope if you have this in your mind. And for me, this vision was always very important. I thought for myself, how would it be in Graz here in Austria if we reached all these goals? And I think it's a good exercise to do it for yourself as well. And afterwards, and this is also important, not focus on your footprint. All of you know probably ecological footprint and carbon footprint and things like that. I think it's good to know it and to do something about it. But the concept of the handprint is way more important, I think. The handprint is what you do. For instance, what job you do. For what company you work, what is your job there? What do you do in your spare time? How do you talk to your friends about these issues, and so on? So this handprint brings you a lot of opportunities depending on where you are in your life. But I think if you focus on that, it makes it much easier and you're much happier than only focusing on the footprint maybe and trying to do the smallest possible steps.
Really love the concept of the handprint. So if you're interested in, I really recommend looking it up and see what that actually means, because the footprint is very much on blaming individuals, and the handprint is really something that empowers you. And yes, sorry.
Maybe a short comment to the handprint. I once thought like the concept like of the handprint, the goal is kind of to reduce the footprint of others with the handprint, but a lot of the footprint is structural. So like it's, or you can of course like fly less and eat vegan and stuff like this, but then you really like reach like a maximum you can reduce, and then the huge structural part comes. So the handprint is the most important concept, but it's, I think, yeah, still good to look at the footprint and try to reduce it.
Agree. But I'd like to say something about this, because we're talking about today, what can we do? What can we do to feel more confident? And if we start, like, you know, go into every detail, then we're creating a feeling of, okay, I'm trying to, but I'm failing. And this is what I think is not very healthy for us, for a society. And Christian, you said one word, and that's hope. And with this hope, and the question, is hope a choice? I would like to open the stage, and I would like to invite you. So is there someone in the audience who would like to get up on stage and, hello, here he goes, this guy with the yellow sweater. So please join us. Yeah, bitte. Yeah, come on and have a seat. And here's your microphone.
Yeah, I will be interested to ask you a question. So we are talking about a climate crisis, waiting, and I'm wondering, why haven't we talked about fossil fuel industry? 50 years ago, people were already ready to launch the movement. Populations were agree about the fact that we should decrease our carbon footprint and our carbon emission, but fossil fuel industry finance fake news. They finance the creation of doubt. There is an amazing documentary about merchant of doubt, how they finance fake scientists. And so I would like to know your point of view about that. Should we exclude them? How should we react?
Would you?
Yeah, I can try to answer. Yeah, of course, you're right. It's like there are big inequalities, and yeah, fossil fuel companies, but also people working in this area, they benefit from the current system, and they earn a lot of money. You know, it's like there's no comparison, and they also have so much resources. So actually, you know, last year I analyzed with students like some of those kind of right-wing populist Telegram channels, and it's really interesting that you find. So the moderators are from Russia. They have capital from Russia. And of course, you know, they post content like, you know, anti-climate, anti-vaccination, anti-Joe Biden, you know, all these things. But we analyze the content, and it's like some phrases, there are the same phrases that are used, you know, so sort of like, you know, it shows that they really have like, I know, some artificial intelligence models and or large language models, also like a lot of, I know, people and chatbots and everything, you know. And if I compare them, so I also post something sometimes on social media, but I have to teach. I also have, you know, kids and so on. So I managed to do like maybe, you know, 1-2 posts per week, and it's of course not professional. I don't analyze like what was liked, what was shared. And if you compare what's going on in those you know, channels, it's first of all, they have access like to a lot of capital, yeah, and we cannot you know, compete with this. So I fully agree. I think there's, I fully support like a fossil fuel phase out. I think this is like the most important. But at the same time, there's like a lot of lobby at the international level, also at the national level. But I think more spaces at the kind of like more local city level. There's I think like more what can be done. And like, you know, talking about that, you know, making it public and yeah, showing also researchers that this is happening. I think this is super important. But I also feel like in some way helpless and powerless. Yeah, that it's so actually I was in Belém 2 weeks ago. I also had like concerns like to go there or not, you know. But anyhow, I went. I really hoped, you know, I can influence something, and I took part in some discussions. But it was like also like really demotivating to see that fossil fuel phase out. It's like not a part of the official agreement. They didn't talk about it. Yet there were negotiations about gender rights, you know, indigenous rights, forest protection. It's all important issues. But the most important issue was not a part of any session. Yeah, so because of course, you know, there are delegates like from Russia or from Arab states, and they don't want to agree on even to have a topic on a session on this topic. Yeah, so it's totally demotivating. But at the same time, I think the more important the role of us, of citizens, of business, of activists, NGOs. So in some way, I feel it's a problem, but the more it motivates me to just keep working and connect to others.
So we shouldn't exclude them, we shouldn't condemn them, just let them go and try to do on local stage?
I don't know. I think it's important to push regulations, law change, like maybe like advertisement ban on fossil fuel products, technology standards. So I think it's important. And I think like everything what works should be used, but I feel also at this international climate negotiation level, it's very difficult to achieve it because there are too many big interests and too many people who actually profit from the current system. But so I think like more hope I see at more like local city level, maybe within like the EU maybe there's more hope. But totally like pushing for regulations for
so a local solution for a global problem. Okay.
In some way.
Yes, I would agree. And your question was, should we exclude them? I don't think you can exclude them. I think this is not so easy to do. And I think this is part of also, I mean, now we're talking about the economy, right? The economy that's failing. So there's also a lot of jobs. So we're talking about so many things, and it makes it even more complicated. And but I, as a person, as an individual, I'm very stubborn, and I simply decided I'm not giving up hope, and I'm not giving up my work. And I think we should not do that. Thank you. Anyone else? Is there? Yeah. She's very excited because she starts walking while she's raising her hand. Thank you. Yeah, please.
Hello.
Hi.
I would like to bring to this stage another concern related with sustainability. I spoke you briefly before. Yeah. Related, I think all of you are interested in using AI and using technology. But have you thought about the implication of using technology for our world? Have you heard about the amount of tech companies that are planning and investing in new nuclear plants? And and also, if you think every time you generate a new image, it's the equivalent to a full charge of your mobile. So we use it like we use technology, but we don't see the dark parts of using the technology. And I would push everyone in the room, because you are younger than me, to do the handprint every time you think on developing your project, your startup, in finding more information about the technology that you are applying, and also about the company and what the company is doing in terms of sustainability to have that handprint. I think it's a way of, because I work in technology. Really, even for me, it's I have all those companies, the dark side, they pay me my wage, and they pay my work and the work that I'm doing in the society. So what I'm trying to do, it's not be on denying that we cannot spell them, but I'm trying to convince them and that they can take part of the change also. So I'm bringing to discussion these sustainability issues. I'm bringing to the discussion the age that children can participate. All these issues that concern us, I'm trying to bring to discussion. I try to involve those companies in this discussion. So I have my wage paid by Meta, TikTok, Alibaba, you name it, Xiaomi, all of them. They are my members. I work in an association, a technology association. And of course, I cannot post this on on the internet. Last time I posted something regarding the consumption of tech European products, because if we have EU regulation, maybe we can choose, different products. Maybe we can give them a chance. And one of the things that I'm really surprised about, it's when we choose to try a different product, we always go for the US products. We don't try to see if we have a cloud solution provider in Europe, if we use Le Chat. Maybe it's not as good, but if you don't give them a try, if we don't give them the data for them to change and to improve the models, we are not doing our part of the handprints.
I would like to step in here because there's for all of you who don't know, there's a clock on the stage. So I see we only have 4 more minutes left, and I would like to give another person the chance to get up. And I know there's some people raising their hands, but there was over there were 2 young women raising their hands, and I would like to ask, maybe would you come on stage? And for everyone who didn't get the chance, really sorry about that. And but we're still here. I'm still here. You can talk to us afterwards. And if you're interested in maybe making a short statement for the podcast, we can record it afterwards, so it will be still in the podcast. Hi.
Hi. So first, I really want to thank you, all 3 of you, and the other 2, because for me this was very enriching. I didn't raise my hand when you make the first question. I'm not angry and I'm not confident because I think I'm very ignorant on this topic. And just like me, I know many of my friends that are the same. I'm not sure if I should be angry or confident about it. I only know that I try not to print paper. Usually I just use digital copies, but that's about it. I try to put trash in the bins, but I don't think I'm reducing any of my waste. And what I mean by that is that I work in tech, right? And as the girl before me mentioned, I know how much damage we are doing with the data centers and AI. But even though I think, can I avoid using AI on my work? Probably. Will I? I will not, because it helps me be more productive. It helps me do my job faster. And then at the same time, I think countries that are developed have climate in their focus, like Nordic countries, but there are many other countries, like my country, for example. I come from Albania, and the awareness is not that at the adequate level, let's say. Why? Because we think we have bigger problems, right? And climate might be it's not even in our priorities. I've never seen even an initiative in Albania that addresses the climate problems. And my question is there a way? I mean, you are working with kids, and I really like what you said. When you learn more about the nature, then you get motivated on protecting it. I fully agree with you. And I'm happy to learn that children that are 10 years old are so aware about climate problems. But then what about adults who are the main causers of all the pollution? I don't think me or my friends are aware of what's happening. I hear about talking about this stuff in conferences, but are there other ways to do this somehow that I can also be informed and try to do? Like, should I be angry or confident? I'm still not sure about that. And I still don't know what ecological footprint is or handprint is. That's why I say it was very enriching. Again, I'm very ignorant on this topic, so I appreciate this talk here. But is there a way to raise awareness about this? I know that many people are working on it, but then again, if I haven't heard of it, my friends haven't heard of it, don't know much about it.
I'm very happy you're on stage, because this is something that I've been here at this festival some years ago, and I was table host at one format, and we discussed e-mobility. And there were people from, I think they were even from your country, and they said, we don't understand your discussion because we have other problems. And this is something that I find very, very important, that we do not believe that we solved everything, that we know the truth, and that our world is exactly how the world looks like for others. So thank you for coming up. I think this is very important. And I'm not sure if we can solve your question here. And I would like not to start digging too deep, because this is a communication question, and this is a communication question that I'm working on for, I think, 2 years now, about reframing, about how can we transform scientific news into a language that is accessible. How can we talk to people who do not work in science? They are maybe not interested in facts and figures globally. Maybe they're more interested in how is it within my community at home, and it's totally understandable. So what I really take with me, and I think this is something that we should all focus on, is we should listen to each other. We should try to think about that other people have other and different realities, and this is not better and it's not less good than my reality. It's just a different reality, which does not mean that we should not keeping the focus on climate crisis or any other crisis. It's just that I think we should start talking more to each other. And with this, I would like to close the session because I know you're all hungry. I am hungry. And what am I taking home with this session? And there was a very nice incident in the beginning, because when I arrived here, there's a young guy at the reception desk, and I said, "Oh, Tony's chocolate. I love it. I don't want a badge. Don't you have a chocolate for me?" And he said, "No, I don't think there is any left." So there was that. I totally understand that. And just 10 minutes before this talk started, he came over running and he gave me Tony's chocolate. And he said, "Look, I found one." And this is something that I found very nice. And I really, really would love to see if we take a better care of each other. Talk to each other, see if we can make people happy, ask them how they feel, how they actually are, and start listening to each other. And with this, I say thank you very, very much for your attention. I know it was a very long session. It was 60 minutes. Thank you for everyone participating with us. And as we said in the beginning, the podcast is recorded, and it will be on Spotify, it will be on Apple Podcast and on YouTube. Will take us a bit, I'd say mid next week, and whoever's interested in listening it again, go ahead, and of course, I'm very happy if you share it. Thank you so much. Thank you.